I will not ask you any questions.
Good morning, everyone who are all present here. Great things in business are never done by one person. They are done by a team of people. With this, I, Ashita, am from final year MCOM. Welcome you all. For Industry to Institute Interactive Program on Global Procurement Strategies. Now, I would like to call upon our HOD, Mrs. Lavanya Balaji ma'am, to welcome the gathering.
This is on recording stuff. Thank you, Harshita. A warm welcome to one and all present here. So today we are here to focus on what the industry wants from us. So this is an initiative taken by the department towards the betterment of the students, and this would not be possible without the support from our mentor. I welcome and thank our principal, Dr. S. Anil Kumar sir, for being our guide, mentor, and inspiration in implementing these best practices. I'm happy to welcome our guests, Mr. Nagendra, Head Procurement, and Mrs. Vikas Chandra. Sir has not come, maybe some personal reason he has, so he couldn't come. So I welcome him also, who is actually from the supplier risk from Allstate Corporations. I thank Dr. Nagaraj, IQAC Coordinator and Head, Department of Commerce, Professor Gokul, IQAC Member, Department of Commerce, for their continued support. I welcome my teaching fraternities, Dr. Vinaya T and Dr. Lalita, for their contribution and support. Last but not the least, I welcome my NCOM students present here to this event. Welcome you all.
Thank you, ma'am. In absence, now I call upon Dr. Vinay T. sir to introduce our beloved principal, Dr. S. Anil Kumar sir. Sir, introduce.
You have to speak, so he's not.
Or the profile. Profile.
So as you know, Dr. Anil Kumar is a beloved principal. So he has, till now, he has graded 5 PhDs and 31 MPhils. Beyond that, he has achieved in the form of getting various awards. One is by Vivekananda School of Management, Commerce and Management. For that, he has been awarded the Best Teacher Award, Best Faculty Award. And also, he was awarded as the best. In the NCC, was awarded as the best candidate in the NCC. Beyond that, he has written more than 17 books in the field of accounting, finance, and taxation. And his model, which is called as a 360-degree model, which also includes 5 dimensions, has really helped our college in achieving MAC A grade. So that was the first time in 3 cycles that we achieved MAC A grade in our college. So that was because of his great leadership. And also beyond that, he has introduced 30 clubs, 30 different clubs in our college, which has also contributed to the success of our institute. And according to India Today, as per 2018, our college was ranked number 4 as per that category. India Today, India, and in the subsequent years, 19, 20, 21 also, in different categories, our college has been ranked amongst the best. So this is about our college, and also these achievements should be attributed to our beloved principal, Dr. S. So since he is not present to this particular session, so we also welcome him in his actions.
Thank you, sir. Now I call upon Dr. Lalita B.S. ma'am, an event coordinator, to introduce our research person.
Good morning, everybody. Mr. Nagendra is currently working as Head, India Procurement Center, Sourcing and Procurement Solutions in Allstate Corporation. He has 22 plus years of experience in procurement for large MNCs in the IT industry. He is a strategically driven and energetic leader with extensive expertise in driving transformation initiatives to accelerate value delivery and cost reduction. He has also worked for IBM India as a global transformation leader for a span of 14 years and has also worked with three other IT companies for a span of 8 years. His core competencies include people leadership and business operations, project and change management, policies and business controls, transformation and automation, a few to be named. Sir has done his MBA in supply chain management from Bharatidasan University and BCom from Bangalore University. We welcome you, sir. I give it to you. I request you to give our students an idea about global procurement.
Thank you. More than welcoming, I think we should thank Nagendrappa sir for having accepted our invite, because he came through one of our common friend. So I'm sure as MCOM students, it's something which is very happy. This is also very some curious and every week you have students exposed. So yeah, it's really a proud moment, right? Because there are three parallel sessions which are happening. BCom is happening here, BBA is happening, SSMRV and MCOM is happening. So big hand for yourself. Thank you, sir.
So before I introduce myself, so this is the last session, right?
No, so ours is the first session.
Now after this, they go home or?
Yes, of course, they will be.
So basically I'm standing in between, the long weekend.
No, so they are eagerly waiting.
Okay, so my name and my background is displayed on the screen. Before it got displayed, how many knew my name? None of you. Okay, so when there is no way you could go and research, which company I belong to, and where I come from, and what I've done, so there was no way for you to do the research, right? So the reason why I'm asking this question, I'll cover it towards the end of the session. There is a specific reason. So let me start off with my introduction. I think that briefly, man has already covered it. So I have about 22 years of experience, though I don't look like 22 years, with a person with 22 years of experience. I started my career back in 1999 after graduation, BCom, just like you guys, most of you guys. Wanted to pursue my PG, MBA back then. Due to financial challenges, I decided to start working. So when I started working, my first job was not procurement. I joined a company, startup company as a programmer and developer. Because during the graduation, there is BCom, I think back then, I think in 1995 onwards, there was so much of craze for software development and the industry was booming. Almost everybody, including engineering students, including commerce students, even the art students also started pursuing computer science. Okay. So during the graduation days itself, I started going for parallelly NIT, Allstate, Ultra Computers, I don't know where and all I've gone and how much time I spent. And to be honestly, I spent more time in the computer science, learning programming, learning development, than the time that I spent in studying my commerce subjects, especially in the graduation days, BCom. That was the kind of passion I had because I wanted to get into the software development side and the software industry. So within 6 months, during that first 6 months of my very first job, I was sitting and doing some programming. So there were a couple of projects. When I started the company, there were a couple of projects. My project manager used to give me some assignments. and I used to sit and work on it. And I was very good at computers. Even today, it's been about roughly 22 years. If you ask me to write a program in Java or C++, with a little bit of brush up, I can write it. Okay? Though I can't touch the computer from that perspective. And then slowly and steadily, I could notice the MD of the company. He started giving me some delegations, saying that Nagendra, you take care of the administration. You take care of whatever it is needed for the facilities, and go and take care of whatever you want to buy for the company. Because being a startup company, there were so many things which were in the process of settling down. In the sense, we were trying to buy more laptops, more computers, servers, and the facility setup itself for the office. There were so many things that were in motion, and every time there was a requirement, my MD used to feel comfortable. There were so many people on the floor. Right? My MD used to feel comfortable that okay, if I give it to Nagendra, we will take it. And to be honest, I started enjoying that because it was an excuse for me to not sit in front of the computer and do the coding for 8 hours, 9 hours, long, 8, 9 hours, long hours. So I used to give an excuse to my project manager saying that MD has told that I need to work on this particular thing. I need to go and buy something. So I'm going there. And happily I used to go out for a couple of hours and then also office work, personal work. And then I used to come back in the evening and I used to report it to MD and then I'm done. Done with it. It's so happened over a period of time, my time spent in front of computer doing programming was very less, but I was doing a lot of other things related to taking care of the company office. Be it administration, be it taking care of employee needs and what is required for the company. So slowly, without my knowledge, without any intention, I started drifting towards purchasing, procurement, or supply chain, whatever terminology you want to use. And then 6 months later, I realized we got to a point where my project manager said, "You are not at all sitting and doing any programming, and I still have you as my team member. I have a headcount, but I am not getting any productivity from you guys, from you particularly, because all the time you are out and doing something that MD wants to do. So now you decide what you want to do. Do you want to do procurement or do you want to do programming?" Then naturally, it was not even a deliberation. I said, okay, we have a programming. I want to take procurement because I love doing that. Because by personality, I like interacting with people and talking to the suppliers and more of a social person than a person who can literally sit and interact with the computer. So just see the kind of okay. Sure, sure. I'm very present. Okay. Okay. So it was very natural decision for me because my personality was such that I was made for a profession like procurement rather than sitting and doing a programming. So there comes your point. So you need to identify what is your intrinsic interest. So what passion you have, what sort of person you are. Are you a person who is very outgoing and who likes interacting with people, who is very bold and who can start the conversation. Okay, so there are many people I can imagine in the classroom. They may be good in communication, but they cannot start the conversation with a stranger. So depending on what sort of person you are, you need to decide what sort of career you want to pursue. Sooner or later it will course correct. So in my career, the same thing happened. Though I wanted to pursue programming and development, why? Because it had a lot of money. Right? So if you go into programming software development, you get paid very well. So that was the thought process I started my career. But sooner or later, I was forced to do a course correction because that was not a profession that suits my personality. Okay, so naturally I landed in my line of interest and the profession that really makes sense for my interest. So from that point onwards, there was no looking back. So continued to spend about 2.5 to 3 years in that company. And then I moved on to another startup company with the same profile, with slightly bigger responsibilities and spend, more spend in the sense company spending. Right? And then I moved on to certain computers, so most of you know. And there I became responsible for even more broader responsibilities, a lot of high value transactions, high value contracts. I'll tell you what exactly we do in procurement in a bit later. Um, and then spending about 3.5 to 4 years at Satyam, I got an opportunity to work with IBM. So IBM, as you know, is a big company, one of the world's biggest technology company, which has been there for 100 years. And I joined the procurement organization of IBM, Global Procurement Organization, when they were about to start the procurement team in India, in Bangalore. So I joined at the right timing. So timing is all important. So continuously I spent about 14 years, but I was not there in one particular role as such. So I joined as a sourcing professional, and then I became a sourcing manager. And for some time, I was managing India-related procurement or purchasing requirements. And then I started managing North America, US and Canada related procurement, and then some other additional responsibilities came, North Caribbean districts. From there, I moved on to a global responsibility as a global program manager, and then I moved on to a global category manager, and then I came back to Asia Pacific region, so taking care of the complete APAC region, which includes India, South Asia, Japan, Australia, all these countries, almost every country in Asia Pacific. And then final stint at IBM was doing transformation. I'll tell you what transformation is all about and what exactly we mean in the procurement context. And very recently, about 1.5 years back, or during the probably first wave of COVID itself, towards the end of 2020, I joined Allstate Corporation. So today I have the responsibility of heading the procurement center for Allstate. I have about 70 people reporting into me, different functions within the procurement organization. So far, that's been my career background. So just like you guys, most of you guys. So I born and brought up in Bangalore, pretty much in the South Bangalore. I studied in PES college, did my commerce graduation, BCom, and then I went ahead, started the career which I said earlier, and then did my MBA as well. So I have a small family, mom, and my wife is a homemaker, and I have a daughter who is in the second year now, second year PU, and my son is in the 8th grade. So that's about my family background, my career background, and what I am and what I've done so far and so forth. Let me pass and see if you guys have any questions so far. Here, so then let's go into some slides are created just to give you a perspective of what procurement is all about, what supply chain is all about, and I'm going to kind of explain what we do in procurement, right? And if you want to pursue, how many of you are interested in getting into supply chain or procurement as a profession or a career in the future? How many of you are planning? Nobody's planning. So which profession you are planning to pursue? Let me ask you that question. So after your MCom, so what are you going to do? Very open question. See, when I was doing my graduation, I told you guys, I had decided that I will become a software developer. Though it was not a right decision, but I had a plan. I had my intentions very clear. and I invested my time so heavily on that, so that I wanted to, I pursued, I mean, I became pursued and then I became successful also in getting a job. So, in the area that I want. So, what is your plan? Don't tell me you don't have any plan at all and you're just coming here and you want to just complete your MCOM and then you go and figure it out later. So you need to have some idea saying, okay, this is my first preference, this is my second preference, and if I get a chance, I want to do this, things like that. You want to say something more? Accounting. Okay, very good. Very aligned with your academic background. You said banking, sir. So banking again, retail banking, investment banking, there are so many opportunities. Investment banking, sir. Very good. Others? No? Analysts. What sort of analysts? Accounting. So most of you are leaning towards accounting and banking. Do you know that there are so many other options available? So what are the other options available for you guys? Apart from accounting, okay, which most of the people think that you need to do BCom, you need to become an accountant. So what are the other options available to you guys? Cyber security. Okay, cyber security is a little bit of a stretch because you need to have a lot of technical knowledge and very deep into technologies and computers. But it's not that you cannot do it. Yeah, I was a commerce graduate myself and I became a programmer. And to be honest, towards the end of my final year BCom, because I wanted some pocket money. I never, my dad never gave me a pocket money. So I don't have a pocket, so I can have a pocket money. So I was conducting tuitions in C++ for BCA and MCA students. And back then, I used to charge 800 rupees per month. Per student, 800 rupees to complete C++. So if I can do that, being a BCom student, so definitely why not? So you can pursue your cybersecurity as well. Okay, so now let's get into the procurement so that at least after seeing all this information, you will be able to start thinking that this is another potential option you guys can really seriously think about, and then if you want to, take it seriously, and what sort of skills, what sort of competencies you need to develop, or you need to focus on, so that you can land in a job related to procurement and supply chain. So I'll talk about giving you a bigger picture of what is supply chain and procurement. You have studied in your academic subjects what a supply chain is all about. But I'll give you a very high level overview of that. I'm not going to take one lecture class here about that subject, and then I'll tell you what is source to pay process is all about. So this is more from a industry perspective and academic perspective, and capabilities and deliverables in the sense what exactly we do. So what is my job is, and then career opportunities and skills and competencies. So on the capabilities and deliverables, I always smile about that because my wife, not these days, but at least in the beginning, and my mom and a couple of my relatives, so many of my relatives, they always ask me, so what is your job? I say, because they cannot understand strategic sourcing, global procurement, all this terminology they cannot understand. So I tell them I do purchasing. Purchasing. Okay, so what do you purchase? So whatever company needs. So that's all. So you go and buy, you go and purchase what your company wants. That's all. That's all you do in your job. So that is kind of impression people have, thinking that purchasing means you just go and buy it and it's an easy job and it's not complex at all. But I'm going to change the perspective when we go to that particular slide. So it is not as easy as you guys think. Otherwise, they wouldn't have, given me such a high responsibility, high package, saying that, so you come here and do purchasing and procurement for our company. So whatever we do for the organization, I'm going to cover that. So you can go to the next slide. So don't read about all the English, the definition and all those things. You don't have to mark up or remember that. So just focus on this particular graphics. Okay? So this infographic what we have here. So just focus on that. Can you all see it properly? Okay. So what is the first box there? So raw materials, and from there you got logistics, goods in storage, and then the second box, sorry, the second row. So can you relate this graphic and give me any one real life example where this happens? Manufacturing, somebody said manufacturing of goods and services. Manufacturing can be anything, right? So it can be pharmaceuticals, manufacturing of Dolo 650. You take the example. Okay? And then you take the example of Colgate toothpaste, FMCG products, right? So, or you take the example of maybe Maruti car. So that's all production. So I'm giving you examples from different industries. One pharma, one FMCG, another one is automotive. So almost anything that you would take. Okay? So there is a supply chain, we know. So what is happening in that process? So the companies, they are taking the raw material from different sources. In case of automotive, the raw materials can be components, your metals, and electronics, chips, everything, and they bring in all those things in their factories and assemble them. So that is the value addition they are doing, because each and every step there is a value that is being added there. And then once you have a finished product, then you make sure there is a ecosystem that is created that moves that particular finished product to the end consumer or customer. Okay. So I'm not very good at explaining things. I'm not a qualified lecturer or professor. I'm just sharing my experience and knowledge the way I can do it. So in that process, so this end-to-end process, right? So from raw material, transforming the raw material into a finished product and making sure that it is reaching the end of it, a consumer. So that end-to-end process is called as supply chain operations. So that is the supply chain. So procurement comes in between. Okay. So procurement, where does it come? It comes making sure the materials, whatever the company needs to produce the product. So procuring those products from different sources, because you cannot buy it from one particular supplier or vendor. So you would need, in a car, there are thousands of parts. Okay, so the thousands of parts not manufactured by Tata Motors alone or Maruti Suzuki alone. So they have to depend on so many other suppliers who are manufacturing them and giving it to them. So you need to procure those things and make sure it is available in the factory or in the plant where that will go through that process of becoming a finished product. Okay. So that is the procurement part. Okay. So procurement is a small component or a couple of steps in the overall supply chain process, end-to-end process. So now you understand the distinction between what is supply chain versus what is procurement all about. So on the right hand side, here I mentioned the different type of procurement. So first one is production and the direct procurement. So this means if you are in an organization, like I was talking about the manufacturing and the production related procurement companies, and if the material that you are purchasing is directly used for the purpose of producing a product, okay, that we call it as production procurement or direct purchase or direct procurement. The second is services and general procurement. So here, if you take an example of Tata Motors. Tata Motors is buying so many things for producing cars. Okay? And Tata Motors also need a lot of things to maintain the company. For example, they need computers, they need laptops for their employees, they need servers, okay, for designing. Right? So at the end of the day, the car has to be designed. Somebody should be sitting there and designing the car. Right? So for that, you need software, you need hardware, you need networking infrastructure, you need lease lines, with internet facility, you need facility, okay, the building, okay, real estate, and then you need maybe a couple of programmers to come and work with the Tata Motors, because not all of them will be direct employees of Tata Motors. They need some contractors from the other companies to come and work in their projects. So that is a subcontracted staff or subcontracting services that we call as. And then you need marketing related expertise. Okay? So Tata Motors will not have all marketing managers, digital marketing that you guys were talking about. So they will not have everything in-house. Okay? So they will be depending on a lot of specialized companies who provide those services, marketing services, right? HR services. And then you have as simple as stationery. You need stationery, right, for the office. So you need so many other things to run the company. Okay? All those put together we call it as services and general procurement. And the third one is outsourced procurement. So outsourced procurement is again it can be a direct or it can be a indirect as well. So many companies these days, okay, so big companies, big multinational companies, they outsource their purchasing department to other companies, the service providers. For example, Infosys BPO is a service provider. Accenture, IBM, GEP, WNS, Denali, Genpact. So there are so many service provider companies. They provide procurement as a service. In the sense, so you tell us, for example, British Petroleum. Okay, let's say they are the customer, and they want certain things to be purchased for their uh, office, and they don't want to keep it themselves. They want to give it to some service provider company in India. So maybe Infosys wants to provide the service. So Infosys employees sitting here in Bangalore, they will be doing purchasing and procurement for British Petroleum of UK, United Kingdom. Okay. So they don't have to be physically there in United Kingdom to do the purchasing activity. Okay. So they can physically be here, sitting here in Bangalore, but they will be doing the procurement of that country. Similarly, people can be seated here, but they may be doing requirement, taking care of requirement for North America, okay, Canada or US, Australia, any other country. So we are in a global, that's the opportunity you guys should be looking at. Because one of those days when procurement means the procurement guys, accounting guys, finance guys, or HR guys, they all sit in one office, physically located, and they take care of their job. It is not like that. So it's a virtual world. It's a global economy. You can be seated anywhere, and you can take care of the responsibilities for a totally different country, or even for a different company. And then services and general procurement, within that, okay, we have so many different functions. I'll talk about that a little later. So at a high level, strategic sourcing, and then we have procurement operations and data analytics and reporting. So supplier management, supplier risk processes, and then process and policies, business controls, and technology management. So as of today, within my team, 65, 70 people that I have people, some people doing strategic sourcing, some people doing operations, some people doing data analytics, some people doing risk analysis, and some people working on technologies. So I have people spread across different job roles, and that system is required to run the organization. So now you will start getting a perspective of it's not as simple as purchasing, going and buying things. So you have so many things within that function as an organization. So what do we do? Okay. So this slide I'm going to talk, and there is one more slide I'm going to kind of do a little more deep dive. This is at a high level, 30,000 foot level view. So what we do, my bread and butter, that is procurement or strategic sourcing, it's covered in about 6 steps here. Okay, the first step is the business partnerships. So we are buying something and we are buying it for some department. Okay, for example, if, if we are buying software, software is required by IT department of the company, correct? So we need to work with those IT departments. So I take one example. If I am buying some services for HR department, so HR department is another function that I need to work with. If I am buying some marketing services, a lead generation, for example, so I'll be working with the marketing and communication department of the company. And similarly, there are so many other stakeholders. Each and every department, each and every function, business unit in the company needs procurement department. So without procurement department involvement, nothing moves. That's good and bad because everybody has a problem. And everyone's problem is given to us and we are there to address it and take it. So people come to us and we proactively go to them saying that, okay, HR department, let me understand your problem. So what are you needing? So next 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, okay, what are your requirements? What is your immediate requirement? What is your pain points? Are you getting the kind of service from the supply partners that we have today? Are you facing any issues? So let's fix it. Okay, so that is the business partnerships that we are talking about. So understanding, having that strategic interlocks with so many stakeholders in the company to make sure we understand the requirement and we have the ecosystem, the supply partnerships to take care of the requirements. So for that, you need to have that business partnerships. And then the second step is recommend solution. So IT team comes and says, okay, so I need 200 laptops within this month, and by year end outlook is about 5,000 laptops. So now you need to give a solution. So is it as simple as, now I'll throw the question back to you guys. This is something I do with my relatives who say that just after this. So when they ask this question, I ask you, I counter their thought process with this question. So if you are supposed to buy one laptop for yourself, what will you do? Laptop may be a bad example. Because most of us have the cell phones, smartphones, and all those things. So you want to buy one smartphone if your budget is 40,000 rupees. What do you do? What is that? Research. Features. Okay, features. Okay. And then? Offers. So you look at the offers, you look at the features, and then those are all features. No? Features or technical specifications. That's called as technical specifications. Okay. And then cost. So you are comparing the prices of different products available. I didn't tell you which phone you want to buy, right? So I said, 40,000 rupees is what you have in your pocket, and now what phone you are going to pick it up. So now you start doing the research on so many models, and you will get confused, and you won't be able to decide one day, and then you will do the research properly for a week. And then won't you go on to do some benchmarking of specifications and prices along with that, and also won't you go on look at some YouTubes, some expert reviews, and exactly right. So you go so deep. Will you spend more than 1 week before you make up your mind? So you will do that only for one phone. So if the requirement is for 1,000 phones, what will you do? Will you spend 6 months? So it's not that you are going to take 6 months, but at the same time, you won't be able to make a decision within 1 week. It may take a month because you are buying such a large quantity and you are buying it for yourself. You don't have to convince somebody, right? But in the company, you are buying it for so many of your employees. Each employee will have his own thought. you think if you go and buy any product and give it to the employee, they will say, you bought this. Okay, for 40,000 rupees, I would have, you will also make a sound. So for 40,000 rupees, what I would have bought a better phone with better specifications, better technical features, and it had that rating, this rating, and who made this stupid decision of going and buying this particular product at this high price. So you have to keep all those things in your mind, right? So you're talking about making sure you are buying a product which will satisfy maybe 5,000, 10,000 people in your company. Just imagine, right? And all those 5,000, 10,000 people are smart people, right? So smarter than you. So now that requires a lot of research, lot of homework, lot of preparation, and lot of analysis. We call that as category analysis. That is the right terminology. We do the category analysis or category research, and then work with the IT company just to make sure it's not about just product. You want to make sure if you start using that product and start installing company applications, company it is getting connected to company network. Okay, so you need to take into consideration IT risk, information security risk. So taking all these things into consideration, you will say that this is the product you want to buy. That is the research part. Now I'm going to pick up my speed, being conscious of the time, and then identify the right supply base, supply partners, and then go out and do a bidding process. You might have seen government organizations, they call for bidding in the newspaper, right? So that's an open bid. So we don't publish anything in the our RFPs, request proposals or bids in the newspaper, but we reach out to them personally saying that okay, this is the supplier and we can provide good service. So let's implement the process. And then you finalize your commercials, you finalize your terms and conditions. When you want the delivery, supplier will say that I will take 3 months delivery. One supplier will say, no, I have the stock, I can give 50% in the next 3 weeks, other 50% in the next 1.5 months. Okay. So which supplier will go? Right. So the one who is able to deliver fast, right? So there are so many factors, not just the technical specification, not just the commercials. If your delivery lead time is the most important thing for you, you cannot mind paying 10% extra. So taking all those things into consideration, you finalize the suppliers and then negotiate the contract, you sign the contracts, and then you go through your buying activity like placing the purchase orders, and then communicating to the supplier, and then following up with that supplier to make sure the product gets finally delivered. So will your job end there? No. So probably that is the starting point. So once the product is delivered, okay. So let's say 50 products become defective. So business unit will come and say that procurement, I don't know what job you have done. Okay, so the supplier has given 1,000 pieces and 50 pieces, 100 pieces are defective. Now you can't fix it. So now again you have to work with the suppliers and get them exchanged. Your warranty clause come into picture, your terms and conditions of the contract come into picture. If you have not paid attention to those conditions, supplier will say, I told you that I will give you warranty only for 3 months, you agreed. Okay. Go and check class number 13, subsection 14. So you agreed. So if you blindly sign the contract, you are in soup. Okay. So you should have read each and every word, comma, period of 30-page document. Okay. So that is the kind of homework and exercise that involves before you make up your mind. And then manage the supplier relationship. So and then you need to maintain the supplier relationship because the suppliers are there for a period of time. They are not there for one transaction. So you may want to do business with them for years, several years. So you need to maintain those relationships. So it's not that only your company will have problems, right? Your stakeholders will have problems. Company will have problems. So they will say, I am facing this so issue with your company. Okay, we delivered all the products and you guys are not paying for us. My 10 invoices are pending. Okay, so they have problems, we have problems, and we are here to procurement is there to resolve everyone's problems. So that is what we do. So what capabilities we need to have? Left hand side, so top section, we need to be very good in sourcing, negotiation, because we are negotiating commercials, price, and then the terms and conditions and so on and so forth, contracting, relationships, and then deliverables. So what are we here to deliver? Are we here just to make sure the product or services? It's not only product, services. Services is given to the company. Is that the job? No. Every year I have a target of generating $100 million savings to the company. The company will say, procurement, it is not just going and buying things. Today I am spending $4.5 billion globally. So next year I want to spend 10% less. Okay. So what do you want to do? Go and figure out. So generate 10% savings for the organization. That is where the value comes in. It is not, if it is as simple as, okay, unlimited funds are available and so the deep pockets and you can go and buy stock and then come back. No. So every year you need to then show your value in terms of reducing the cost for the company and making sure the quality is maintained and then making sure the stakeholders are happy, the suppliers are happy, everyone is happy. And then on top of it, we have targets like we want to be environmentally friendly. Okay? We want to be socially responsible. We want to encourage and support LGBT communities. Okay? So if there is a veteran, there is a women-owned business. So we want to give them opportunity and we want to support them financially so that they grow. So these are all CSRs that we need to do. And another important, because you are commerce graduates, you understand. So supplier will say that I will deliver, I want the invoice to be paid the next day, or you should pay me 100% advance. Is it beneficial for your company? Why it is not beneficial for your company? You know this fund flow management. Okay. So you have your fund flow, and then instead of paying on the day the products and services are delivered, if you are paying 45 days later, it is helping the organization for managing the cash. So your operating expenses, whatever you have, working capital, right? So the working capital gets improved if you are paying later. Instead of 45 days, if you pay 90 days later, supply will go bankrupt. Okay, so your company will do good. So now you need to find a balance. Okay, so what works, what is sustainable for the supply base ecosystem, what is good for your organization, you have to find a balance and then you need to make sure your company is doing good in terms of working capital. So it is not just buying products and services, you need to take care of so many other responsibilities for the company. So this gives you this is one important slide. These are the kind of job opportunities you will find in supply chain and procurement function. So early career, so just after the college. So if you are looking at procurement as a area of opportunity, then you may join as a buyer, which is there in the blue color there. So you may join as a buyer. If it is a production procurement, you may go and join as a production planner or warehouse executive. So there are so many opportunities within the supply chain. But within the procurement organization, you can join as a procurement operations buyer, spend some time, couple of years, and then become analyst. The analysis I was talking about, the research and all those things. So you kind of slowly graduate to that role. And then maybe you move into supplier risk assessment. So before you award a business, do you want to award a business to a supplier who is about to go bankrupt in next 3 months? Will you do that? So somebody has to do that research, how the supplier financials are. Okay. And do you want to do business with a supplier on whom embargo is imposed in the sense United States government, the federal government, they have imposed some sanctions. You are not supposed to do business with. Okay, because most of the Russian companies are on that list. So do you want to go and do business with them, sign a contract with them? No. So there are so much of validation that risk analysis that you need to consider. Some are financial risks, some are statutory risks. Okay? So you taking all these things into consideration, you have to decide whether this particular supplier is okay to do business or not. So that is the risk process. So you can move around within the organization, like a zigzag, right? You start from operation and then you move to the risk side, or maybe you come into the analyst role and then go into a person who is going to sit and negotiate the contracts, or maybe you want to work with business who can understand the business requirements and maintain those client relationships. So there are so many horizontal movements. It is not all about vertical movements that you do. So you need to do horizontal and vertical, a combination of that for the product. Only then you will reach, because if you want to reach a leadership role, leadership position, just vertical will not help. Okay, so you need to have knowledge of different verticals. So it is called as T-shape. Right? So T-shape means one is the depth and then the breadth. So don't spend entire life in becoming an analyst. You know what I'm saying? I'm so good in analyzing. I can Google, I can YouTube, I can do this, do that. So I spent 15 years in analyzing things. No, that is not good. You need to maintain a balance between how much deep you want to go in one particular area, and then at the same time having your breadth, so that it becomes a perfect teaching. Won't be perfect all the time. So sometimes the depth will go little down, and then you need to course correct it and increase the breadth. And then sometimes too much of breadth, you need to again course correct it and then increase the depth. So that you need to work it out as you go through your career. Yeah. So these are some of these skills and competencies. I think by now, given the understanding of what sort of responsibilities you will have if you join Procurement and what may happen. So now you know what sort of skills are required. Right? The most important skill is soft skills. You should be very good at communication. Why do you need a good communication skill? Because you are all the time talking to people. You are talking to your internal stakeholders. You are talking to your peers. You are talking to your management. Okay, you are talking to entities outside of your company like your suppliers. You are talking to statutory compliance companies. You are talking to government agencies. You are talking to so many people. So when you are doing that, you need lots of skills. And then analytical skills. I will not explain why you need analytical skills. And then relationship management skills. Why do you need relationship? Because 50% of your work is done based on your relationship. If you spoil your relationship with your internal stakeholder, he will not cooperate with you tomorrow. Right? Or he will escalate you all the time, put you under the spotlight, and then you will think that why did I come and join this procurement? So relationship managing 50% of the problems are solved if you maintain good relationship. That itself is a great skill or even an art. Okay, I will not use the word skill because it is art of maintaining relationships. So on that note, I will ask you guys to refer to one book. You don't have to read the entire book. You don't have to read 1,000 pages, it's fine. It's called as Emotional Intelligence by Daniel Goleman. Just Google it, you may find the gist of that book also. Very good book. So if you want to become good at relationships, and if you want to be successful in a company, what sort of qualities, what sort of personality you need to have, you will understand by reading it. And there's one more next level. So if emotional intelligence, I said, there's another book by the same author, it's called Social Intelligence. So just refer to that book if time permits. And then the other thing is domain skills. Domain skills is like strategic sourcing. So you should know how to source, right? So you should know how to do a bidding activity. You should know how to do an RFP. You should know how to do an forward option. You should know how to do a reverse option. Okay, so all this becomes your domain skills. This will come hands-on. Okay, once you join, I don't think there is any institute that will teach you the domain skills. So it's on the job you learn. And then negotiation skills. Why do you need negotiation skills? Because that is your bread and butter. So you are negotiating all the time. And then tools and technologies. So why tools? Because even in procurement also we don't do everything manually. So we use ERP systems like SAP, we use applications like Ariba, we use applications like Employee, we use applications like Field Glass. Okay, there are so many technologies, and these technologies keep changing. Okay, today you are using some technology, tomorrow some new technology will come, will you adapt to that? So those skills are very important. So it is a continuous skill development when it comes to technology and tools. Depending on which company you are in. My company is using certain tools and technologies. What other company they will be using different technology. So that's the continuous learning process. So let me pause and see if you guys have any questions. That's pretty much around the problem. So people are very happy that we came to the answer. Yeah. So I asked you a question in the beginning. What was that? Do you know me? That is my name, not like that. Do you know my company? Now you know. Before coming to the this classroom, did you know? The reason why I asked, if you this is something I have got on number one partner this. If you want to be successful, okay, you need to stay curious. So curiosity is what keeps you continuously moving. So if you are curious, saying that tomorrow there is one session, somebody is coming. So what's his name? Okay, so name, you got the name. Then go on put it on Google or LinkedIn. So you will get the profile of that person. And then understand what this person is about. Okay, so yes, this is background. I do this. I do this all the time. Whenever I'm meeting an unknown person for the first time, I will do my research to understand what is the person's background. If I get a profile of that person, when I interact with him for the first time, I would know his values. So what sort of person is, what is his background, that helps me a lot to break the ice and understanding what common factors you and that person has is all the more important. Okay? I told you about one skill. There are many people who are very good at communication, but they are not able to start the conversation. If you want to start the conversation, what do you need? You need to understand what is the common factor. So you like running, I like running. Okay? So we just start the conversation with the running hobby that we have. And then slowly you open up to one. So that is the way you build the relationships. So one, be curious, and then if you want to be successful, there is a community called being custom on equals. Okay? So everybody is smart. So you are smart, I am smart, he is smart, everyone is smart. So that is not enough. So especially in a private sector, corporate sector. With the government, it's a different environment. So with the private, corporate, everything is measured, your success, your payment, your bonus, everything depends on how you perform. So if you want to really perform very well, you need to be custom on equals. Okay, being custom on equals. When everybody is smart, how will you become custom on equals? You need to take that extra effort of doing something that others wouldn't have thought of doing it. Like going and doing the research. Okay? Do your homework. Be prepared. Be ready to take that, pain. If you don't, if you want to have easy kala life, okay, no effort, then you will be just one of them. So you will never become personal equals. Okay? And with that, I will say one quote which was said by Jimmy Rometti. So she was the chief procurement officer, chief operating officer of IBM for quite some time. Very successful lady. So she used to say that comfort and growth doesn't coexist. So you want to be comfortable, have nice life, don't expect growth and success. Okay? So set your expectations. You want growth, success, then come out of the comfort zone. Be ready to do something that others wouldn't do, and be ready to take the extra pay, only then successful farming. So with that, thanks for being so patient, and I know it's almost lunchtime. And as I said, I'm between you and the weekend, and I appreciate your time. Thank you. And thanks for being here. Was I put on timing? Or did I stretch a little?
Now I call upon Bhumika from first year MCOM to give the closing.
See, I have questions. Anything you want to ask? Sir, actually, I want to ask you on behalf of them. Because the last concluding remarks, what you said, that they have to comfort and don't go to the list. So they have to take that extra pay. So then, how to make them take that extra pay? And how they have to motivate them?
How they have to take the extra pay. So, see, I don't know how to answer this question. Taking that extra pay comes if you have fire in the belly. Okay. I came from a background, I said I couldn't even pursue my post graduation because financially we were not so good. So I had a fire in the belly. All the time I was thinking, so my dad was doing this, okay, he grew up like this, and our family came from this level to this level. Now I need to take it on next level. So I had a fire. And because of that fire, I was ready to slog, I was ready to work hard, harder than others. Okay, that's most important. Okay? So if you are thinking that you are working hard, that's not the point. Are you working harder than others? Okay? Smarter than others, that's the point. So to your question, I think the moment you have that fire in the belly, automatically you will see so many different things that you can do. Okay? So your mind will open up, saying I can do this, I can do this, I can do that to become successful. If you don't have that fire, then all roads will get blocked. You don't see anything. Okay? The only thing that you see is a nice warm couch, a bean bag, or you may get urge to watch on Netflix.
Basically for them, because I finding it hard to make them take that extra pay.
And you have to. Okay, so maybe in college, I don't know, but I'll tell you, the moment you go into the corporate world, into the private sector, good God, days, you get a government job, then probably you can relax a little bit. Even government departments are also changing the way, the transparency that is getting created, the way, the IT is coming to the picture. So even government departments are not able to have that kind of good time they used to have. But in private sector, it's not like that. It is ruthless. Ruthless. Okay? So if you don't perform at the maximum, I'll tell you, I'll be very open and honest. If there is somebody in my team who is not performing well, I'll probably wait for a couple of weeks. Okay? Month or two. I want to be a good human being as well. Okay? So maybe that person is going to some personal challenge. Maybe, psychologically that person is not in a good state of mind. I'll give time. 1 month, 2 months. And then next time I will ask my team, please give the feedback. Tell the candidate very clearly that that person is not meeting my expectation, they are not completing the deliverables. Even if the completing deliverables is the basic expectation, okay, that anybody will do. So it's not about completing your day-to-day job. It's going beyond your day-to-day job and doing that because I'm a runner, that extra mile. You push yourself, go that extra mile. Only those people will stay in for a long period of time. People who are just doing it, not enough. Feedback is given. If they don't improve, maybe after 3 months, that's it. So Now you have the best time once you, not time is very less, but once you go into the work environment, right? It's not demand a lot. So physically, psychologically, it's not demand a lot. So be prepared for that. Any other questions?
And also, they didn't know anything about procurement. That was, I believe that was one reason why no one maybe suggested to that they want to take up that area. They don't know anything about it.
I'll tell you from a compensation point of view, in a procurement function, if you're running a very decent size company like Allstate, IBM, um, 4 years back, I told them, 4 years back, I was in IBM. I came here for campus recruitment. So I was in the interview panel and we interviewed and we hired about 20 people from SSMRV college, MBA graduates. Starting package can be somewhere between 6 to 8 lakhs. And then it can go up to 60 lakh, 70 lakh, 80 lakh also, not starting package. So once you get the experience and then go through that exact and then spread out. That's the maximum amount. I have my colleagues with 20 plus years of experience, and their package has crossed 1 year. So there are very few functions where each and every department has a limitation. Certain departments will have a maximum ceiling of X number. In procurement, compared to any other corporate function, because HR and you need to be very good at your numbers and all those things. Even if you are not good at your relationships, negotiation, it doesn't matter, right? But if you want to go into the procurement side, there are so many things that comes into the picture. So that is the kind of career and remuneration and lifestyle.
Is there any course or certification program that have to do with getting to procurement?
So to begin with, I don't think there is any course. So your graduation, post-graduation will suffice. Once you find an entry into the procurement function.
So it is direct, then have to get it.
Direct second, of course, you need to put the extra effort to understand what is procurement all about, what we do, and do your homework and give smart answers when you are in the interview. Don't say that I don't know procurement, given a chance I will learn. That is not the answer. You should have done the research and you should know at least some percentage of what procurement is all about. Then that will impress the interviewers. So before interview, you should make sure you prepare yourself for the job that you are applying. Then your success will, the probability of success is higher. Once you find a job, then you can do certification programs like certified purchase manager and certified procurement manager. So there are so many certifications given by institutes. There is an institute called Institute of Supply Chain Management. So it's a private institute, but they have tie-up with a lot of other international organizations. They give you the certification. You have to attend some classes, and then you need to complete X number of hours in terms of class hours, and then you need to give a test. So if you go to the testing, you will get a certification, which may cost 80,000, 1 lakh rupees per certification, but not now. So once you get inside the procurement role, then after a couple of years you can do it. Okay, are we good? Yes. Thanks.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Now I call upon Bhumika from first year MCOM to give the closing remarks.
So good afternoon to everyone present here, and thank you Nagendrappa sir for giving us an enlightening about the procurement and such an eye-opening session about procurement. I personally did not know anything about procurement, and as he simultaneously and repeatedly used in his lecture today that many of them were asking him what is procurement, is it just purchasing? Even I had the same perspective, but it has helped me to come out of that perspective and know procurement is very different, and it also has a very good career in the real life, and it also gains us so much of information that we can also select a career in our future through these things. And to give a highlight about what he spoke today, he explained us about the process and the different types of procurements that are there, and the clear cut steps that are used in a company for procuring the raw materials, or it might be anything or in any company. And he also gave us the career insights which are there in the procurement, and through Vinay sir's questions we also got to know the institute through which we can get the certification done in procurement once we enter the field of procurement in our after we complete our MCOM or the regular undergraduation degrees. So through all this, we got to learn many things about procurement and the process and other things involved in it. So I would like to thank you once again for giving us such an eye-opening lecture on procurement and the types of procurement. Thank you.
Thank you, Bhumika. No event is complete without the oath of thanks. Now I will call upon Varsha JR from final year MCOM to give oath of thanks.
I thank Mr. Nagendra for his wonderful insight on global procurement. It was truly wonderful session, sir. And I thank our principal, Dr. S. Anil Kumar, sir, for his continuous support to make this event a grand success. I thank Professor Lavanya Balaji, ma'am, taking this initiative in educating us to bridge the gap between academic and industry. I also thank Dr. Lalita, ma'am, and Dr. Vinay, sir, for the support in this event. And I would like to thank, last but not the least, I would like to thank my fellow classmates for making this event a grand success. Thank you.
Deepika, stop sharing.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much, sir. The insights given by sir was really important. It was so resourceful. Probably when the students are in campus, they may not be aware about the job opportunities which is prevailing in the corporate level. But yeah, after listening to you, even they would get a better understanding about what are the requisites that they need to possess to carry on with their life. Yeah, after they move from campus to industry level. So yeah, it was really indeed a wonderful session. So we all enjoyed both the students. Also, I can see the smile. So for sure, even I can conclude that even they would have enjoyed it. And there's a small token of love from the department side and from the college side. So please do accept it. So please.
That's why I said purchasing is important.
Yelena.